I am Stan Vindell for Preserving Arizona Wilderness, and today we're on the Kendrick Trail in the Kendrick Mountain Wilderness for our 8th episode. Please join us for this fun adventure. Join me as we go on this journey of hiking and environmental protection along with recreational opportunities. Fire has marred the Kendrick Mountain Wilderness area just as it has marred other areas, and there is a sign toward the beginning of the trailhead that tells you you're entering a burn area, so be responsible and watch all around you. Kendrick Trail is a great place to talk about wildlife, which is why we're going to talk about elk and Mexican gray wolves today. Let me start with my wildlife story about elk. There was a Flagstaff Hiking Club outing to the Kendrick Mountain Wilderness in the 1990s. There was about 10 of us, and 4 of us were a bit ahead of the others, so we stopped at the base of the mountain to wait for the others. The 4 of us stood among the large trees and ferns, with 2 of us facing the other 2. My camera was draped around my neck, which turned out to be important. As I faced the 2 hikers across from me, an elk appeared out of nowhere in back of them. This is amazing considering the size of an elk, even without a rack. The elk stopped right behind the 2 hikers I was facing. I whispered, "Don't move." I raised my camera, took a couple quick photos. The elk curled its lip, then ran off with 2 young ones following right behind. At the time, I was writing for the now defunct Flagstaff Times, and the photo ran on the cover of their Sunday magazine. I have been back to Kendrick Mountain Wilderness several times since then, and it changed somewhat due to fires, but most of its beauty remains intact. In 2000, the lightning-caused pumpkin fire burned 15,000 acres, including a good portion of the 6,540 acres in Kendrick Mountain Wilderness. In 2017, the Boundary Fire, also lightning-caused, burned about 400 acres toward the top of the peak. This was a concern because a lot of the dead and down trees, as well as the forest debris, was caused by the pumpkin fire. This is when the area by a cabin toward the top was burned, but the cabin was saved by the firefighters' work.
Kendrick is probably one of my favorite trails here near Flagstaff because you can get great elevation. It's not too technical of a trail. It has great views and super dog friendly, and just a lot of locals know about it.
They are talking about letting Mexican gray wolves roam into the Kendrick Mountain Wilderness. What do you think of that idea?
You know, I don't know a lot of the science behind it, but I am a big animal lover, and I feel that they were here before us. So if this is their natural place to be, they should be allowed to be where they've been for hundreds of years.
The Kendrick Wilderness boundary sign is one of the most unique I've ever seen. Usually the boundary signs are fairly big wooden ones, or sometimes they're small signs attached to trees. This one is in the ground. So about a mile into the trail, you come across this boundary marker, and there you have it. You're in the wilderness. This cabin behind me is more than 100 years old. One of the highlights of the trail is seeing this historical cabin, which is not far from the top. This one-room log cabin was built in 1912 and used as the home of the lookouts into the 1930s. Some years ago, the cabin was unlocked and hikers could meander in, but during the summer, the cabin was locked, and as you can see, it's locked right now. Wildlife, aspen trees, stunning scenic views, and some wildflowers make Kendrick Mountain Wilderness worth saving. The fire causes hikers to go through many burn areas. Despite the lack of rainfall this year, yellow, purple, and white flowers still lit up the trail during the summer. Those who like aspens, ferns, and an uphill climb can appreciate Kendrick Trail leading to the top of Kendrick Mountain, the 8th highest mountain in Arizona, topping out at 10,418 feet. Kendrick climbs 2,450 feet, but the switchbacks are nice, and the climb isn't too steep for even moderate hikers. The toughness of Kendrick depends on who hikers want to believe. Phoenix Magazine rates the hike as moderate, but the Arizona Republic and the Book of Flagstaff Hikes rate Kendrick Trail as hard. Aside from the wildflowers, the trail is dotted with pine trees, Douglas fir, Engelmann spruce, ferns, aspens, and opens into alpine meadows. Stellar blue jays and flickers found along the trail will keep bird lovers happy. The panoramic view from the switchbacks also make the hike worthwhile. For those who want to add miles to their hike, the Bull Basin Trail picks up in back of the cabin that is toward the top of Kendrick Mountain. The Pumpkin Trail is the third trail found in this wilderness areas, and hikers can find the trailhead near the lookout tower. From the lookout tower, you can see the San Francisco peaks are to the southeast, but the north rim of the Grand Canyon and the Painted Desert can be spotted as well, along with several other mountains. Spring, summer, or fall are all good times to visit Kendrick. Sedans are fine in good weather. There is no water on the trail, so bring plenty for the climb. The drive-in from US 180 is about 7 miles, but the roadside is filled with aspens, so it gives the hikers an inkling of what is going to be seen. So we hiked Kendrick Mountain Wilderness in the fall. We were able to catch the golden yellow fall leaves, even though that there is snow on the ground. So a couple weeks or a couple days, this is going to change and those colors will be gone pretty quickly. So enjoy the fall weather when you can. I am Stan Vindell for Preserving Arizona Wilderness. Please continue to follow our YouTube channel, Facebook, and blog for our next journey.